Hello folks, welcome to another brilliant video by the brilliant expat Taffy. May I say welcome to all my subscribers and welcome to all the NASA mentally insane jackasses like Astrobrant and Bertie Slack and all their subscribers. You are all welcome to come and watch this brilliant video by the brilliant expat Taffy that not only provides more proof that NASA faked the moon landings and that all the photos were faked here on the Earth, but also more proof that the mentally insane idiots like Bertie Slack and Astrobrant are completely mad, totally insane, and suffering from most probably too much of the wacky backy. Now, as you've seen from the title of this video, Air Compressor on the Moon revised. So why revised, folks? Well, you'll find I put two videos out on this particular subject in the past titled Air Compressor on the Moon Volume 1 and Air Compressor on the Moon Volume 2. So, you may now ask, why a Volume 3? Why a revised video? Well, as with the previous one, new evidence has come to light. The brilliant expat Taffy has discovered more evidence to back up the two previous videos and to prove that Bertie Slack is a mentally insane psychopath. So, what are these new clues? Well, let's take a look first, shall we? Okay, folks, here's the photo that it is all about. An Apollo 15 photo of the astronaut Dave. The number AS15-82-11145. Now, what you can see here, Dave is about to reach for a hammer that's sitting on top of a rock. Now, the first thing to notice about this photo is, as you can see here, it has been photoshopped. Now, regarding this photoshopping, what you always get from the mentally insane psychopaths Bertie Slack and Astrobrant is the photo cannot be photoshopped because Photoshop was not out in the late 60s or early 70s. That's how thick these idiots are, folks. There's the data there. It has been photoshopped. But as I have always said, if it's been photoshopped, it is one of two things. It's either an old photo from way back that's been altered with Photoshop after the year 89, or it's a complete new fake photo made after 89. It's got to be one of those two, because as you can see, the Photoshop data is displayed for you here, and as you can see, Photoshop 3.0, that is the version that was introduced into America in the year 2007. Now, I do remember Bertie Slack saying he's got this photo in a magazine from back 1971 or 72. Well, that may be. He's a liar when I state every photo was made after 89. He's a liar. I've said many times before, Bart Sabrell visited NASA's main headquarters where they had all the films and the photos in 1988, and he will verify that he was told that in 1988 they only had 11 Apollo photos. Only 11, folks. This may have been one of them. Okay, now, what we've got here is the description by NASA for this photo. An important point to notice here is this photo displaying this astronaut, the astronaut's name is Dave, okay? Keep that in mind. And one thing they say, note that Dave is not wearing a camera because Jim is using it to take this picture. So, according to this, they've only got one camera between the two of them. That is important for later on. Okay? Keep that in mind. And keep it in mind that this is Dave. Now, what we are going to be taking a look at here is something the brilliant expat Taffy missed the last time around. Something that I just noticed. Something that the idiots Astrobrandt and Bertie Slack call pareidolia. Yes, folks, pareidolia. Now, what the brilliant expat Taffy has done here is something that the mentally insane psychopath Bertie Slack will not do, folks. He does not want you to see the evidence. He is scared to carry out this practice used by the brilliant expat Taffy, and that is cropping the areas in question and enlarging it to show you more detail. And what can you see here? Can any of you see anything suspicious? A whistleblower's clue? Staring you in the face? Well, there you are, folks. That's what the brilliant expat Taffy can see. A part of the rock they've made out to be a face. Can you see it? 2 eyes, a nose and a mouth, as I've shown you many times before. And according to the NASA nutters, pareidolia. Hey, Slackus, where's your spud, Slackus? And bearing in mind, folks, if you look one photo back, the previous photo to this, AS15-82-1144, you can see the face is not there. It's not as clear as the other photo I just showed you. That proves that this photo was done by hand on a computer, not from a camera, folks. And there's a lot more to come. Now, here's the brilliant expat Taffy again with his technique of cropping and enlarging the area in question. And look what we've got here. Look at that, folks. How many times have somebody questioned the rubber gloves? Why they never look inflated? Well, is this the whistleblower's giving you a clue there? Just look at that glove. It looks more like a mitten that's been pulled over his hand, or even a pair of garden gloves. Now, how the heck are they going to get that pressurized? And the arrow on the right, folks, as I showed before, supposed to be a chart on his hand. If you examine that, you can see the whistleblowers are being clever enough to draw a circle, 2 eyes and a mouth, over a triangle to make it look like a little girl with a triangular dress. Now, folks, the next clue here, the whistleblower's clue, which is what the face is there for, to tell you there's an error in this photo. Just look at the position of this hammer, and the astronaut has not touched it. Look at the position of the hammer. It is the left side of this face I showed you. But look at the next photo coming up, folks. There you are. The astronaut has still not touched the hammer, but look where it is. It's now to the right, or on top of the face. The hammer has changed position, folks. And according to NASA, between these two photos, the only thing that happened was the other astronaut taking the photo has moved slightly to the left. That's all, according to NASA, that has happened between these two photos. As you can clearly see there, this astronaut Dave has not touched the hammer. So how did it get to the position it's in now? Here you are. I've cropped the two of those photos at this rock to show you. there's the two photos combined, one with the hammer to the left of the face and the other with the hammer on top of the face, and the astronaut has not touched it at all. So, come on, Bertie Slack, let's have an explanation how this hammer jumped over. Okay folks, we now come to the very, very special anomaly in this photo. And there it is, as shown by the green arrow. It is something on this Dave astronaut, something on his stomach. So what is it? Let's take a look by using the method of the brilliant expat Taffy, the method that the numbskull Bertie Slack is scared stiff to use, cropping the photo, enlarging and taking a look for ourselves. And there it is. Can you see that object? Now, I couldn't make out initially what this object was. I'd never seen it on any other astronaut previous. Although the Bertie Slack idiot claims it's on every astronaut throughout the whole of Apollo. Well, we'll take a look, shall we? There you are, folks. There's this object inverted. I still didn't recognize it as any part of any astronaut's spacesuit. But looking at it here, the first thing I started to think about, what's these vertical lines, these grids? The first thing that came to my mind was a speaker for a radio. The Bertie Slack idiot have never seen such an item from his past comments, but I'm sure you've all seen radios with bars across the speaker section to protect the speaker. But I eventually dropped that and soon discovered exactly what this object was, folks. And here's what it is coming up. And there you are, folks. That is exactly what it is. It's a portable 12-volt tire inflator, an air compressor. Now, you couldn't have a better clue than that on the moon, could you? I mean, an air compressor that requires air on the moon where there is no air. You couldn't have a better whistleblower's clue than that, could you? And take a look at the one on the right. That's one you get on sale today. Now look at the comparisons between these two. Both of them have got a flat plate underneath for sitting down on the floor. Both have got a barrel, a section in the middle, a motor. Both of them have got vertical cooling grids on what would be the compression chamber. You can see it on both of them. And both of them have got on the top a pressure gauge. However, the numbskull Bertie Slack thinks it is something else. There you are, folks. That's what this NASA nutcase Bertie Slack thinks it looks like. He states it's a regular part of every astronaut's suit. It's called a purge valve. Now, let's take a look at this stupid object compared to the one on this Dave alone, this one astronaut. Let's take a look and do a comparison, shall we, folks? Okay, folks, let's do a comparison here. On the left, you see what this numbskull Bertie Slack claims it is, a purge valve. In the middle is the item found on the astronaut. And on the right is a modern day 12-volt mini air compressor. Now, which do you think it looks like, folks? Which do you think the middle one looks like? Is it that little drawing on the left, or is it one of these on the right? You make up your mind. And here is another one, a more modern one today. This is a double ender. As you can see, the barrel section in the middle, which is the motor, and this one has got a double end, vertical cooling grids for the compression cylinders, and a pressure gauge on top. Now, folks, what I've got here for you is further proof that Bertie Slack and Astrobrand are mentally insane psychopaths. What we've got here is this object taken from two photos of Dave. The first one, as you can see the number AS15-82-11145, and the one on the right AS15-82-11146. The next photo taken, folks. The next photo taken. And look at the first one. There is no faces around this object. But if you look at the one on the right, you've distinctly got two faces on it, one either end of the object. You can distinctly see two eyes, a nose and a mouth on the front, and two eyes and a nose and a mouth on the back. And this mentally insane psychopath Bertie Slack claims there are no whistleblowers in the photo lab stuff, folks. Well, how did these faces get on that object from click, 10 seconds, click? How did they get there, folks? So, folks, let's now take a look at what this mentally insane psychopath Bertie Slack claims it is. He claims it's a part of the astronaut suit and it's on every astronaut. We'll start with this one, shall we? Buzz Aldrin, the famous photo. There you are. I've cropped him to show his stomach, and you can see his red purge valve on the left. Now, what do you think that red object on the left looks like? Do you think it's the one in the center? Is it this? Or is it the one on the right? You make up your mind. What do you think it looks like, folks? So there you are, folks. I'm sure all of you will agree with me that that object there on the right is not part of Buzz Aldrin's suit on the left. So there is none of them on the Apollo 11 astronauts. So let's take a look at the next mission, shall we? The Apollo 12, and see if we can find it there. So, folks, we are now with this Apollo 12 astronaut, AS12-49-7281. Another photo that the Bertie Slack idiot will not discuss with you, because this photo is displaying a spotlight and 5 studio lights in the visor. Same as another one with the severe fake photo. Now, let's take a cropped look at his stomach and look at his purge valve, shall we? Okay, folks, we've now got the midsection of this Apollo 12 astronaut. And as you can see by my green text, you can see his purge valve on his stomach. Now, tell me, what does that purge valve look like, folks? Does it look like Bertie's object, bottom left of the photo? Or does it look like Expat Taffy's object, the compressor, bottom right of the photo? You make up your mind, folks. What do you think it looks like?
Hello there, friends. Mr. Strange here. I would like to take the opportunity to tell you all who this here Bertie Slack and that Astrobat character are. They are two of many people who the NASA administration has hired to travel around the World Wide Web in a paid attempt to take away the key of knowledge to the world of us free thinkers. They are the ones who take lunar photography and then airbrush out anomalies that are highly present in the Apollo Photographic Journal. They then claim to the world that there is nothing wrong with the photography, and they claim that everyone else who sees these anomalies before airbrushed out, of course, has what they refer to as pareidolia. That's right, friends, pareidolia. Now, that's a real high and sophisticated word there. It kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit now, doesn't it? Well, in other words, they are claiming that the free minds of the world are simply seeing things that are not there. Well, how could they be after they airbrush the anomalies out of the photograph and then publish it as the real article all over the British and American newspapers, including the World Wide Web? There's another individual named Jarrett White who has taken Astrobrand to court and has a cease and desist order for the removal of one of his videos 6 years ago, and is still fighting these NASA numbskulls to this day for the release of the truth regarding these highly edited photographic fakes. there's another individual named Expat Taffy who has been fighting these two NASA numbskulls for the last 7 years and crying out to them to come clean with the truth. Ugh. You see, every time Mr. Expat Taffy finds metal objects and anomalies that have been drawn into those photographs, he brings it to their attention, won't let them get away with it. No, not one bit. Not just them, but also all the other NASA numbskulls who believe that he has seen things. Well, that's what that high and sophisticated word pareidolia is all about, you see. Ugh. Well, I can tell you all right now, and he's not the only one. Tell you that. If you look at the photographs he mentions in his videos on NASA's very own website, you'll see that he speaks the truth and proves those two liars of the highest order, and not only them, but all the people who propagate this lie. Yous all know who you are, don't you? Ugh. One recent example of this photographic fakery can easily be seen in this photograph right here beside me. You see, in this original photo, there are 5 lights that can be clearly seen in this astronaut's visor. Right there, you see? Now this one here, you can see that there are 5 lights. You can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can even see the spotlight right over here, for crying out loud. Now, in this photograph, what you can clearly see over here in the astronaut's visor is no lights at all. You see, before, in the other photo, there was, let's count them all. Let's play 1, 2, 3s here. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the light that's shining over here, that one, what is it called now? Oh yeah, 5,000 watt halogen bulb. Yes, you see, it's all been airbrushed out, all of it. All of this here, see, it's all gone. This is the kind of thing that these NASA numbskulls do. And then they pass this off as real photography that was taken on the moon. This is a lie of the highest order. See, I was taught when I was a youngster that altering your report card because you got a bad mark in the public education system was called a lie. So, why is it that these numbskulls alter these photos and then pass it off as the real thing? Well, they should be put over the general public's knee for a good strapping and made to tell the truth. Oh boy, jeez, these human liars, I just don't know what to do with them anymore. Ugh.
Okay folks, we've now covered Apollo 11 and 12 and found no trace of expats air compressor on any of those astronauts. We'll now look at the next mission, which is this one here, Apollo 14. Let's take a close look at this astronaut's stomach and his purge valve, shall we? And here it is, folks. What you can see here is something that the brilliant expat Taffy noticed right away years ago, but the mentally insane idiots Astrobrandt and Bertie Slack still cannot understand it. They have no knowledge of physics whatsoever, and if I ask them to perform a certain task, a little task, tie a string on a ball and get it to hang horizontal like it's showing here, you'd have a sermon from Astrobrandt of about 500 words trying to explain how it could be done. But give him the ball and the string, it would be impossible to do. So that's obvious, a whistleblower's clue here that this photo is fake, putting in obstacles that are 100% fake. Now, the next thing to look at with this Apollo 14 astronaut, you can see the red purge valve on his suit on the left there. Now you take a look again. What does that purge valve look like, folks? Is it Bertie Slack's object top right corner? Or is it the expat Taffy's brilliant discovery, a 12-volt mini air compressor on the right bottom? Which do you think that purge valve resembles most, folks? And the question is, can you see expat's air pump on this astronaut anywhere? Okay folks, we're now with Apollo 15. Now, this photo here, AS15-88-11863, this is supposed to be Dave saluting the flag by the lem. And this Dave is the one we had the air compressor off in another photo. So let's take a look and see if he's got it on here, shall we? Let's take a look. There you are, folks. Now what you can see on Dave here, he must have gone back to the lem to have a change of clothes or something, because what you can see on Dave on this one is just the normal round red purge valve. It could be the one showing by Bertie Slack on the right, but it's definitely not the air compressor that he had earlier on that I've got showed bottom right. Anybody think they can see an air compressor on this Dave? Now folks, what we've got here is Dave's mate. This is Jim saluting the flag, and I wonder if he has got a compressor on his stomach like Dave had earlier on. Let's take a look, shall we? There you are, folks. There's Dave's mate, Jim. You can see his red purge valve. And which one do you think it's similar to that I've shown? Is it Bertie Slack's purge valve on the left? Or is it the brilliant expat Taffy's 12-volt mini air compressor on the right? Make up your mind, folks. What do you think you can see? So, folks, now we've dealt with Apollo 15, we go on to Apollo 16. Let's have a look at this astronaut, shall we? Oh, bligger neck. We can't use this one, can we? It's, it hasn't got a purge valve showing, but remember, this is the one I proved photoshopped, and is nothing but a stuffed dummy. A stuffed dummy that the whistleblowers in the photo lab have airbrushed out his left foot. He hasn't got a left boot. And, as you can see, he's not got a right hand because they've taped the rake to his wrist using a crepe bandage. Take a look at that coming up here, folks. 100% fake, a stuffed dummy. There you are, look at that. Does that look like a glove to you? Of course it's not. It's just a bandage wrapped around his wrist and wrapped around the rake, folks. And Bertie Slack thinks that's a genuine astronaut on the moon. Okay, folks, we come to this one now for Apollo 16. AS16-113-18339. Now we can't ignore this one, can we? This is one of the best photos I could find, full frontal. And we'll take a look and see what he's got for a purge valve. Just remember, this is the famous jump salute astronaut. Let's take a close look at him, shall we? There you are, folks. There's his midsection, cropped and enlarged, like the brilliant expat Taffy always does for you, because the brilliant expat Taffy wants you to see the truth, not like the Bertie Slack idiot who will not brighten up or not crop up because he don't want you to see the truth. Here's the midsection for that 16 astronaut. Now, on the astronaut you can see the red purge valve that's in every other astronaut, and you can see a ball below with no string attached. That's pretty good, that, isn't it? No strings attached. Now what do you think that red object looks like on there, folks? Does it look anything like expat Taffy's 12-volt mini air compressor tire inflating pump? Does it look the same? Well, according to Bertie Slack and Astrobrand, it does look the same, and it is the same as far as they are concerned. Now, folks, here's another astronaut for Apollo 16. AS16-113-18343. I've cropped the helmet here for you to see. There is no aerial on this astronaut. And another error or deliberate whistleblower's clue is look at his saluting hand. His little finger is flat on the end. It hasn't got any rubber tip. Now that's a whistleblower's clue where they've pushed it in with a pencil to show you that there's no pressure inside that glove. if there was, it would pop out. That's another clue, folks. But let's take a look at his midsection, shall we? There you are. I've done the same with this, cropped him. And look at that. Do any of you think that that red purge valve looks anything like Bertie's, or does it look like Expattaff's 12 volt mini compressor on the right bottom? Which do you think it looks like, folks? Now, we can't miss this one out, can we? Here's another Apollo 16 astronaut, AS16-116-18718. Now, you've all seen this before with me, but we've got to have a look at it. You won't see a purge valve in this one because the whistleblowers have airbrushed it out. And what have they done? Take a look there. They've inserted a handful of licorice all sorts, something the idiot Bertie Slack and Astrobrandt say does not exist. They cannot see them. They say this is pareidolia. Well, can you see any licorice all sorts there, folks? They are the right shape, square, they are the right colour, and they are in flat layers, exactly like licorice all sorts are. And here is another whistleblower's clue in that astronaut, folks. Something the mentally insane Bertie Slack states there are no whistleblowers in the Photolab staff. But take a look at this extension arm on this aerial stand. Can you see anything on the end of it? Well, let me zoom it up for you. There you are. What does that look like for you? A nice little eye, a round eye with a white ball, a black pupil, a nose, and what appears to be a mouth. Could this be a fish? Or the head of an eel or something? Now, any of you think that's a whistleblower's clue, or just a coincidence, like the numbskull Bertie Slack would say? So, folks, we are now with the final mission, Apollo 17. Here's AS17-134-20382. Now I wonder what this astronaut has got on his front stomach. Let's take a look, shall we? Well, there you are. Here we have the normal red purge valve. Now, any of you think that red purge valve looks anything like Expattaffy's 12 volt mini air compressor tire inflator on the bottom right? So there is another case where Bertie is talking through his Astrobrandt. Okay, folks, remember we started off the video with this photo here. A photo of Dave reaching for the hammer. A photo, as you can see, has been photoshopped with Photoshop 3, which wasn't introduced until 2007. Remember, that's the photo we started off with, okay? And this photo has got the 12 volt mini air compressor tire inflator. But we'll now look at a later photo of Dave. Here's another photo of this Dave coming up. There you are. There is Dave. AS15-85-11500. Now, I showed this in a previous one. The first thing you can notice about this, his hand is made to look like the hook hand of Abu Hamza. But let's look at something a bit more special, folks. Something that Bertie Slack and Astrobrandt refuse to discuss. They will not answer. They will not explain this. There you are. Dave's mini air compressor has now disappeared, and what he's got on his chest is some cylinder with a big massive hook on it. Now what on earth is that, folks? Who took off his air compressor and who inserted this object here? And they can't say that that object sticking down is the handle of the camera, because at this time this Dave has not got the camera. His other mate have got it. So there's further evidence of whistleblowers tampering with the photos So you've seen with this Dave now, you've had the air compressor on, you've had photos without the air compressor on, and now he's got this photo with this on. Okay folks, we are now at the summing up stage for this video. This video which proves that this object here, as the brilliant expat Taffy states, is a 12-volt mini air compressor tire inflator. It is only found on one astronaut, Dave, and only 2 of his photos. It is not on any other astronaut throughout the entire 6 missions, as you have seen, and it does not contain any colour red. Every one of the purge valves on every astronaut is a red colour. Now, these whistleblowers, the only way they could make these photos more obvious as to their fakery is to sign the photo, stating, "We faked this photo, here's my signature, what more do you want?" Now folks, as far as the numbskulls Bertie Slack and Astrobrant are concerned, 2 mentally insane psychopaths who still insist there are no whistleblowers in the photo lab staff, I am still waiting for an explanation for these 2 black figures for this Apollo 17 photo. 2 black figures that bear distinct images of a barking dog or growling bear on the left and a Thai Buddha on the right. So, come on, Bertie Slack, Astrobrant, let's have an explanation for these figures. Who put them there? If the photo was taken on the moon, as you say, who put these figures on the ground? And after explaining that, let's see if you can give an explanation as to this. The 2 of them disappeared in the next photo coming up. There you are folks, the next photo, 20547, the images have now gone. They've disappeared. And after that, to finish it off, we're still waiting for an explanation for this figure. A stone on what they call the surface of the moon is made to look like the head of an Indian totem pole. 2 distinct white eyes with black pupils, a nose, an upper lip, a lower lip, a chin, and even a set of teeth.